Hello!
And welcome to Filthy
Nerds!
Because we're filthy.
And we're also nerds.
And there's two of us.
Holy shit, she can count.
Oh my god, it's a Christmas miracle.
We did a role reversal, you guys.
Look at that.
Did you notice?
We mixed things up. Listen, there's no fucking time to waste. If you haven't already, patreon.com/twofilthynerds. You can be voting on our next series. We're in our final 4. You could also be in these live streams of the episode, which means you'll get to chat along with us live, talking shit, having fun on all the breaks. Every time we cut to break, we talk to the chat.
Yeah. Where we talk shit. And we love it.
And we love it. And we love Harry Potter, so I think we're just going to start rolling. Because it left off at a crucial moment.
A crucial moment.
Where Harry was seeing this visual of Draco Malfoy being forced to torture the guy that let them get away. Mm-hmm. That let Harry, Ron, and Hermione get away. With just a look of horror on his face. And that was the end of chapter 9. And then we come to chapter 10. Kreacher's Tale.
Kreacher's Tale, which... First of all, I was like, we're getting Kreacher back. What kind of tale? Are we going to learn the history of Kreacher? I was like, I don't give a fuck about Kreacher.
Can I play Kreacher in the TV show?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I just really would like to be brought in somehow.
If I don't play McGonagall, I'm going to be real upset.
I would
or
just,
Trelawney.
Would just like to be asked to be part of it.
This chapter ended up being one of my favorite chapters in all of Harry Potter series.
Really? That's so interesting.
There was just so much interesting stuff that happened. There's so much fun backstory that was heard. I love the way Kreacher's character in the book evolved.
Yeah, he had a big character evolution,
like, huge character evolution. Like, this was a super satisfying chapter. It was also extremely long, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next morning, Harry wakes up. And he's thinking about, like, what the fuck is going on with all these stories I'm hearing about Dumbledore. Who is he? Why are there so many things I don't know or may not?
What did he keep from me?
Like, the fact that, like, you know, grew up in he's from the same hometown as his parents, as we said in the last episode. Like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, and just
it's weird to not know that.
Yeah, and all the circulation of, like, these rumors of, you know, dark secrets. He's just really unsure of if he knew the man at all.
And he's, like, trolling around the house. He checks out Sirius's childhood bedroom. Everything is still the same.
I loved this. I loved that Sirius was, like, such a dick. Like, so staunchly, like, fuck you to his family. Because his family is, like, historically, like, a line of Slytherins. And his room's, like, covered in Gryffindor stuff.
Yeah.
Just very...
And he put a spell on it so that nothing can be removed from his walls. Like, it's stuck there.
Yeah, and then there's a picture of
the boys. Sirius, Lupin, Peter Pettigrew, and James.
The Marauders, as we know them.
And he finds papers scattered around, and one of the things he finds is a letter to Sirius from Harry's mom, from when Harry had his first birthday.
Yeah, it was a thank you letter for a gift, because he got Harry his first broom, which is crazy.
Oh, that was so sweet. And then I remember that he was the person who got him his last broom, which he lost.
That's so sad. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The letter actually mentions Bathilda Bagshot. So, his family had been, like, friends with this woman who was in the same realm, in this, like, same area, because it's a small area.
They were tight, and also that woman was the informant to Rita Skeeter. So, it's like, who the fuck is this bitch?
Yeah, all we know about her, by the way, I don't know if we said this in previous episodes, Bathilda Bagshot, if you don't remember, she is the author of A History of Magic.
Yeah.
And that was originally all we knew about her name. Is like, he recognized the name because he's like, isn't that the author of... And now, all these little things are popping up. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird. But...
And the letter's cut off, so he's like, Harry's like, where the fuck is the rest of this letter? He searches everywhere, can't find it.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, as much as he was focused on like, oh, Dumbledore, what the fuck is going on? He's kind of got this moment of overwhelm... Because he's, like, seeing things from, like, his parents as a child. That's when he finds the picture of him, like, on the broom.
Yeah.
And he's sort of in this kind of memory lane mode. And then Ron and Hermione come...
They're like, where the fuck
bolting
are
in.
You?
They're like, you can't just fucking leave. Like, you can't... Yeah. Which is totally fair. Like, this is the one time that I feel like codependence is key. It's crucial.
I'm sorry, codependence isn't always crucial?
No, in fact, most of the time, it's very unhealthy, Nicole.
What?
Get away from me.
I love you.
Stop it.
Your love for me is all that I need. Your love for me is setting me free.
You're a put the microphone on your face person?
Yeah, you're not a put the microphone on your
that
chin
is
person?
a whole other bitch.
Bitch, I've been sitting next to you for over a year with my microphone on my chin, and now you just noticed? Eat my hairy ass
we have
armpits.
a show, and just so you know, I don't care about what you're doing. I care about the viewers. Of course I'm not staring at you. Put your armpit down.
No!
This is upsetting.
You're in trouble!
You are...
You're in deep doo-doo! Alright, let's keep going.
What is wrong with us? Listen, they're pissed. Hermione's like,
Don't go running off like that again. And then Harry's like, let me tell you what I found.
But look what I found. And Hermione's like, someone has clearly been in here before. And Harry's like, I think whoever it was looking for the other half of this letter.
And Harry's like, Bathilda
Bagshot
is still alive. She's at Godric's Hall. We definitely need to go there. And Hermione's like, nah, I don't know. It's like,
Hermione's really
the
reluctant.
Death Eaters found us a little too fast yesterday.
I mean, truly,
They did
she
that.
has a good point. But the thing is like, I feel like it's no longer. I feel like her reluctance is she thinks Harry just wants to go bask in this memory of his childhood, which is a fair thing to want, and it's fair to go, I respect that, but I don't think now's the time. But now it's bigger than that. Now it's like there's something going on. There's some type of information with this Bathilda woman. So I get it. They head back to the kitchen.
This is what's fucking crazy. On the way back, so we all remembered inside the locket, there was the initials R.A.B. From the fake Horcrux.
A little letter that said, it's like basically, I fucking got this. I'm going to destroy it. Fuck you.
So as they're going down, they notice that on the other bedroom on the floor, it said Regulus.
So sorry, my allergies.
Arcturus.
It's the star from whence I came. I don't know if you've ever done mushrooms with me. You have. But listen.
Most of my mushroom experience was me crying talking about delis.
Listen, have I done enough hallucinogenic-induced soul-searching and talking to the sky to be a person who most people would view as a crazy person for going like, that's it. That's the one. That's where I am from. That's the star I'm drawn to. And then looked it up on a map and found out the star is called Arcturus. It's in the Boots constellation. Yes, I am that crazy.
So, she's insane.
That's his middle name.
He's
named after my home planet.
Oh
star.
my god. First, we find out that Bathilda lives in Godric's Howl. Then we find out that your home planet is actually the middle name of an integral character.
The star I was sharded out of. Which
you sharded out of a star?
We're all star farts. We're just star dust that evolved.
Star farts in the sky.
With skin
and
marks.
It's gonna give you pink eye.
I don't know what you're parodying. Or are you just riffing?
I'm just riffing.
Well, you're too toned under it.
Just
deaf to riff.
boo.
Wow, it's
Somebody
like
kill me. Okay, so they notice that, and they're like, "Oh my god, maybe this is the dude who got to."
It's Regulus' Sirius' brother, and they're like, maybe that's the fucking Locket guy.
So he's a Death Eater brother, but the story falls into place because Regulus must have become disenchanted with Voldemort at some point and turned against him.
That's sort of the idea. Is that like, oh, maybe because all we knew about Regulus was that he was like a devout Death Eater, ended up dying.
So they go into this dude's bedroom. They're fucking looking everywhere. It's all Slytherin colors because he was a Slytherin. And they're searching everywhere. They cannot find the real locket. And they're like, where the hell could it be?
Yeah, they're like hoping they'll find it.
Hermione remembers that when they were doing a massive clean out of the house,
they found a locket.
And they tossed it. And then she remembers.
But Kreacher was like hoarding things. He was like taking everything to his closet. He didn't want them to get rid of any like heirlooms. So they're like, holy fuck, maybe he has it.
Yeah. So he was taking and hoarding like
everything.
Like
it's my mistress's belongings.
I'm just trying to think of a character that's known for hoarding.
Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Nobody talks about it. Because she's hot. She's a collector.
Yeah.
You put a couple warts on her, hoarder immediately.
Give him money, connoisseur.
Yeah, no. The liberty with which we give hot people.
Yeah.
A hot woman with 5 cats is an animal lover. I have 5 cats and I'm a disgusting hobo and I need help. I don't have any
That's why I can't tell people my mom's a hoarder. She just hoards nice clothing.
Your mom's not a hoarder. You're not a hoarder if you have room for it. I'm sorry. I'm with your mom on this one. If you live in a castle, you can have clothes
It's not normal. Please tell me that you do not think it is normal, the amount of clothing that my mom has.
I don't think it's normal, the amount of house that you guys have. So I think that and I say that with all the love and envy in the world, that it's like, well, yeah, that's gonna happen. If you get a house that big, you gotta just put stuff in it. You need, it's too much space. And that's the problem. You get a house that big, then it's like, she has all these racks of clothing. Nothing is obstructed. Yeah. There's no walkways you can't get through.
Just so you know, when my mom dies, you are getting a whole new wardrobe.
I'll kill your mom right now.
All right, let's go. So they're like, oh my god, maybe Kreacher has it. So they go to the kitchen to find Kreacher.
They go in his little cupboard, start going through his shit.
It's not in there.
Nothing. Nowhere to be found.
Noopy.
And then Harry's like, all right, this is our only next option. He fucking calls for Kreacher.
And Kreacher...
Because he has to. This is the beauty of house elf,
slavery.
Slavery is actually, I was trying to find a nicer word.
It's slavery.
Is that like, he can't escape you. He can't ignore you.
He has to come there, Kreacher. And anything you ask him, he has to fucking tell you. And Harry's like, where's the fucking locket? And Kreacher's like, Mundungus stole it. And because Kreacher can't fucking lie, you know it's true.
Yeah, and Harry's fucking pissed because he remembers seeing goddamn Mundungus Mundungus in the last year in Hogsmeade. Mm-hmm. So Harry is like, okay, you have to tell me everything about Kreacher, and you need to tell me all of the truth.
And then he learns the story of how Regulus was a Death Eater.
Yeah, he joined the Death Eaters, and he came to Kreacher, who was the devout servant. That was the word I was looking for.
Slave.
Slave. To a dark wizard family. So, being in cahoots with Voldemort was seen as, a good thing.
You're blessed.
Yeah. You're like, how he's honoring you with his time. Regulus comes to him and says, Voldemort needs a house elf.
Yeah.
And I volunteered you. And Kreacher was like,
oh, thank God. Thank you so much.
Oh, my master is trusting me. He thought of me. So great. And he commanded Kreacher to do whatever Voldemort tells him to do, and then come back to Grimmauld Place. He's like, you go do that, then you come here, because I'm going to make you fucking tell everything.
So, but what happens is Kreacher goes to that same cave where Harry went with Dumbledore when they were getting the Horcrux. And Voldemort had forced Kreacher to drink all the poison potion, the same stuff that Dumbledore drank.
Yeah. And then
put the locket in.
And then
and then puts it into the basin and then refills it with poison.
And then leaves Kreacher on the island. And here is another what I would call a potential plot hole.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, did this cave with a basin in the middle of a Black Sea filled with poison just exist? And Voldemort's like, I have to empty the first amount of poison and put my new poison in. Because why wouldn't you just put the fucking locket in there before the poison? Did he put the poison in and he's like, son of a gun?
I think he probably wanted to test the poison.
Yeah, but... I guess that's true. That's true.
I mean, it's a bit of a hole. It's not fully explained. Maybe we'll find out later. I don't know.
But anyways, he left Kreacher there. And then Kreacher gets pulled into the water by the Inferi, which of course we saw.
And also, were these always Inferi waters?
Yeah, it's
like when Voldemort on his way out, is he like, I'm gonna put some dead people in here?
Yeah, did he have to like haul a bunch of dead people there in a truck?
Yeah, how did they get there? Because I remember when we read the chapter where the Inferi were in there, they were like, oh, look, these are all the failed attempts of people trying to get the Horcrux.
But there's already
they had already been
there.
So it's just Inferi waters.
And does that exist? Like, is that just a cursed thing? That's a good point.
I mean, that's like a whole different kind of Shark Week.
Was there something else in there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't.
It's really weird. But he left Kreacher to die, but Kreacher got out of it because Regulus told Kreacher to come home. Regulus said, come home, and then that's, I guess, how self-magic works.
Oh, yeah, you can't apparate and travel. For that cave, you couldn't apparate, but that rule doesn't apply to elves.
That's why it was different, because Harry was like, wait, you can't apparate out of there. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And that's when they go, oh, that's probably why he wanted a house elf.
Mm-hmm.
But also I wonder if initially Voldemort even thought to have a house elf, or if Regulus was like, I've got a good idea just in case it doesn't go well. Mm-hmm. Like if Voldemort would have just left one of his Death Eaters on the island anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't we sacrifice a house elf? They really don't matter.
Yeah, and so Kreacher tells Regulus what happened, and Regulus is pissed.
So fucking mad. And then he's like, he tells Kreacher that he wants him to take him to the island, and he wants him to do, show him everything. He drinks all the poison, and he has Kreacher swap out
the lockets, and then he's like, Kreacher, you go home, take the locket, and destroy it.
He's like, promise me that you'll do that. I'm ordering you to do that. And Kreacher he
drinks the poison
and gets
pulled under by the Inferi.
Yeah, Regulus gets pulled under by the Inferi, and Kreacher, obviously crushed.
And Kreacher,
and he was, by the way, bound not to tell.
Yeah, bound not to tell. Couldn't tell anyone. And
anyone in the family. And that's how Harry was able to get it out of him, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think he was sworn to not tell anyone in the family.
Yeah.
And that's, who else is he seeing in that house?
Yeah,
no one else had asked him.
So Kreacher tries to destroy the locket. Obviously can't, because they're super, super hard to destroy. Sirius and Regulus's mom, they're super distraught about the disappearance of her good son.
Yeah, she's like overcome with grief because Regulus has gone missing, and Kreacher loves, his mistress, and he can't say a thing. And it's just this sad. Yeah. Kreacher breaks down.
And then while he's telling, and this for me was it. Kreacher gets so fucking emotional. He's telling the story. He breaks down, and Harry is like, I cannot understand how Kreacher could betray Sirius to Voldemort when it was Voldemort who caused his, beloved Regulus to die.
Yeah.
And Hermione on her fucking
house
high elf
elf
horse. She's like, well, this is what humans get for treating house elves like slaves for so long. And it's just like, finally, everybody's like, oh, that is really fucked up. It took them this long to realize
that
really
maybe it's a fucking bet. And it's like, it's just so, seeing Kreacher, like, obviously it's like you lose your master, you use your thing. He's like sad for that level, but he's mostly devastated that he failed to complete his task, which we've seen with house elves, that like they beat the shit out of themselves literally.
And this was my favorite part, because Harry's like, okay, Kreacher, go get Mundungus, we gotta get the real locket. And then Harry, as like an act of kindness, he gives Kreacher the fake Horcrux.
He's like, I want you to have this. And
then finally Kreacher is like respectful towards all of them.
Harry, yeah, he even like loosens up on like the mudblood fucking Hermione shit, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then boom, he's gone to find Mundungus.
Yeah. Great chapter. What a great journey for all the characters. Ron barely heard about him in the chapter. Couldn't have been happier.
You.
Oh, the best.
Here's the thing that we didn't cover early in the chapter, but I think it's funny, and it's not a huge plot point, but it was funny at some point. Harry kind of silenced Kreacher. And Kreacher, he's like, Kreacher, stop saying those things. Like, you like forbid him from saying mean things, but he was like still moving his lips and nothing was coming out.
Hilarious. I forgot that part.
Filthy mudblood. Anyway, we're going to take a break.
And we'll be back with chapter 11. All right, we're back.
Chapter 11.
Jess has to mention something before we dig into chapter 11.
The bribe. We just chatted with our producer when we took a little break, and we mentioned it in our live chat, patreon.com/twofilthynerds if you want to be part of the live stream. I had this thought when re-listening to the book, because I'm doing the audio, that it's interesting that a necklace is not a piece of clothing.
Because if it were, then Harry giving it to Kreacher would have freed Kreacher from being a slave.
Yeah. And then you go, what if maybe it is? And Kreacher's just so overcome with gratitude, he chooses to... I'm kidding. He chooses to remain a slave.
He's like, well, now, since you gave me this great present. But it's like...
Love conquers all. Even happiness.
Our editor, Jean, had mentioned...
maybe it needs to be...
clothing, cloth.
He's like, maybe it has to be made of cloth.
And I'm like, oh, so my leather bodice isn't considered clothing.
Which is a fun thing to think about house elf being given, or just seeing like a free house elf in assless chaps.
Just wandering around their little ass with their little elf ass.
They're just in like the full leather daddy outfit.
Oh, leather daddy with
leather dobby.
Leather.
Can somebody draw a leather dobby?
Oh, Andy.
I'm gonna ask him. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Leather dobby. Wait, hold on.
We need to write
I'm gonna
that
text
down.
Andy right now.
Leather dobby. Anyway, sorry we repeated our bit for the people who are live in the chat, because that was a real riff we had, and we needed to share it with you guys. But anyways, chapter 11, The Bribe. Kreacher's gone. He's gone for a few days, so it's not like he's back in 5 minutes. People are starting to appear outside Grimmauld Place. There's cloaked figures. They're Death Eaters. They're clearly like... So if you remember from when we first got introduced to 12 Grimmauld Place, you can't actually see it from the outside. It goes to the Muggle's eye view, and everyone not in on it. It goes 11, 13. So none of the Death Eaters can get in, but Snape is technically authorized to get in. So that's really where these big, magic jinx booby traps came up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension.
Mm-hmm. And an unexpected visitor
pops in.
A good visitor. It's Lupin.
Yeah, but it's like
Daddy Lupin, the other half of my spit roast that's still alive.
Yum, yum, yum. And the thing is like when you've had these people out in the yard who are like clearly trying to like figure out how to get in there, and then all of a sudden someone's walking in, pretty fucking scary.
Scary.
But again, yeah, it does turn out to be Lupin. And they tell Lupin everything. They fill him in. Because nobody knows at this point what the fuck has happened.
No, and Harry tells Lupin about the thing that had happened at Totem
Court Road.
Totem Court Road, about the Death Eaters, like, being there within seconds of them getting there.
And even Lupin, who, like, he was the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Yeah.
He's a very smart guy.
He's like, I have no idea.
I have no idea how they would have known you were there. And he lets them know, because after you guys left, Kingsley Shacklebolt showed up and he helped everyone else escape very quickly.
So nobody got hurt, thank God.
Yeah, but it's like at that point, the Death Eaters seem to have no idea, where Harry was. So it's weird that they were immediately...
Lupin brings more bad news. There's a new edition of the Daily Prophet that claims that Harry is wanted on suspicion of Dumbledore's death.
See,
I was in shock because I was like, oh, but wait. If the Death Eaters took over the Ministry of Magic, the Death Eaters also took over...
Yeah, that's the power of government, is that they're now in cahoots with the media. The fake news!
So, technically, Voldemort controls all of their society.
Which is run by the government.
Yeah. And so Voldemort is making more fake news from the fake government.
Yeah, but it's also just sad to think that they just go, suddenly werewolves are bad, and people go, oh, I guess werewolves are bad. But, like, it's fucking scary. But yeah, so now there's... what's it called? Doesn't he have like a...
They do a Muggle roundup. The same way they rounded up the Jews. Voldemort, because he's in charge of the ministry and everything, they're starting all these anti-Muggle measures. So it's Kristallnacht.
Yeah,
in
all
Germany.
the Muggle-born wizards have to report to the ministry, and they are being questioned. And there's this whole story that magic can only be passed down linearly. So if a Muggle has magic, it means they stole it, which makes no fucking sense.
Completely. And they're putting out anti-Muggle propaganda, which is reminiscent of the anti-Jew propaganda.
Absolutely.
That Hitler's propaganda machine put out.
Yeah, and they change Hogwarts so that only purebloods can attend.
And oh my God. I don't think we're there yet, but...
No, and they also make it mandatory because this is, again, like, they don't want anyone sidestepping. So they're really just trying to keep a close eye on everyone.
Yeah, so they're making sure everybody is in order, in line, being kept track of.
There's also, like, I think a bounty out for... bounty's not the right word, but, like, Harry's, like, wanted.
Yeah. Oh, and then Lupin's like, hey, I know that Dumbledore left you on a mission. What's the mission? And Harry's like, if sorry, I literally can't tell you. But then what's really cool is Lupin is like, no problem. You don't need to tell me. No matter what, he's like, I will be with you there on that quest.
He's like, you don't have to tell me anything. I will just come with you.
Yeah. But
and
then
Hermione gets pissed. She's like, what about Tonks? Which is kind of like, I mean, my instinct would be like, well, wouldn't she come along? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, Tonks is, Hermione's like, that's your new wife.
You're just gonna fucking run off and leave her behind?
I gotta be honest. I'm really digging Hermione for this whole hoes before bros,
Absolutely. And then we find out
Lupin is like, Tonks is pregnant, and I'm freaking the fuck out.
And Hermione's excited, but he's like, No, he's like, let me help you. It's a whole conundrum because there's this whole anti-werewolf thing.
Mm-hmm.
The werewolves generally don't breed. Once you become a werewolf, people aren't like, let's go make a baby.
Mm-hmm.
They're assuming this kid would be born with werewolf
What if
shit.
he's born with werewolf? Yeah.
And now I've forced this
horrible life upon my unborn child. And then there's also Harry, who's like, dude, you can't leave your kid.
Yeah, he's like, after all, Harry gets fucking pissed. He's like, after all the shit my dad went through, protecting me, dying to protect his wife, like, you can't leave your kid to go on a quest. Like, I see both sides, though. Like, they get into a fight, by the way. And
this was surprising for me.
Harry says some fucking mean-ass shit.
I was surprised about that just because of how much Harry respected Lupin and, like, you know, all the guys who were in the Order. They were always, like, family to him, like, you know, surrogate fathers kind of things. And for him to say that and, like, go off, I was like, that's not cool, Harry.
Yeah, it is kind of uncool, but also I think in another way, it's kind of really cool because I think that there's this thing among men who are friends of other men who are maybe dads or becoming dads, or we just sort of, like, don't bring up the fact that it's probably not great that you're leaving your kid. Just be like, yeah, cool, man, whatever you need to do. And it's like, no, fucking don't leave your kid.
Yeah.
Like, the bar shouldn't be so low that a man is considered a hero for sticking around, but that's where we are. Like, kids need dads. It's better for them. Anyway, take it from me, who didn't have one, and now I'm here.
Well, you had one, then you got him back, and then he went away again.
I mean, I hardly got him back, but at least I got to say goodbye for real this time. Good riddance. Not good riddance. It's a whole sad thing. Anyway.
We'll skip it.
We don't need to go into that.
Let's go to something else that's sad. Harry's just basically still really upset about the loss of his own parents. And that's the reason he was, like, so fucking pissed
But
off.
his shit was so mean that Hermione and Ron are like, dude,
damn,
what the
dude.
fuck? Like, when someone just goes, everyone's kind of like, hey, that's bad. And the one guy just goes too far. And then he's also, and another thing, Jews! And you're like, whoa!
We weren't even talking about that. Oh,
like,
my God.
Everyone's, like, scolding someone, and then someone gets, like, racist or something. You're like, no, I'm not. I don't like...
Yeah, that was not us.
I'm not part of that.
Oh, or you ever been, like, you're, like, talking shit about, like, someone in your family, and you're like, it's usually for me, my mom. I'll be like, my mom's such a fucking bitch, and then one of my friends
somebody
will be
else
like,
does it?
somebody else will be like, yeah, your mom is a fucking bitch, and I'll be like, whoa, that's my bitch.
I had an ex-boyfriend say something about my mom, and I fucking lost it.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I was like, don't you
ever say anything bad. That was the same thing when people were mean to my brother. My mom's like, you're so mean to your brother. I'm like, I'm allowed to be. Nobody else.
He's my brother. Yeah, it's like, why? That's so funny.
I'm the person who shits on him, not them, me. Anywho, speaking of sisters, Harry picks up...
Speaking of sisters.
He picks up the Daily Prophet and sees a family photo that has Dumbledore's...
Oh, that's right. There's another feature about Dumbledore by, of course, Rita Skeeter, and there's a family photo.
And it's about how Kendra, Dumbledore's mom, moved the family to Godric's Howl after her husband...
Hollow.
Okay.
Hollow. Hollow.
What do I keep saying?
Hollow. Howl.
Hollow.
You said Godric's Howl, like a wolf howl.
You know, I was close. After her husband's arrest...
It's Godric's Howl.
Once and for all.
Wait, what?
To cover up for her husband's arrest, to cover up her squib daughter Ariana once and for all.
Oh yeah. Okay, so sorry. And again, Batilda Bagshot is the source of information. That's where this photo's from. That's where the info is. Yeah, they're basically just saying, they're confirming kind of a little bit what Auntie Muriel had said, that like, they were ashamed, so they moved it.
So Harry is like, we have to go to Godric's Hollow.
He's dead set on it, but like...
Come on, you're not even going to be proud of me for that?
For saying the word right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I will not lower the bar that much. I will not...
Limbo lower now.
I will not be proud of people for doing what should be the bare minimum. I will not relinquish my praise, Kim Kardashian. Anyway.
Kreacher comes back.
Yeah, before he can even get into Godric's Hollow. Boom, Kreacher's back. He's got Mundungus Fletcher with him. And then they fucking, coax Mundungus Fletcher, who's being a fucking dick, of course. He comes back thinking that they're, by the way, ready to kill him for Mad Eye Moody. He's like, I'm sorry. I told you I didn't want to go. You knew I didn't want to go. I wasn't ready to die. I didn't mean to leave him hanging. What do you want me to do? And they're like, dude, this is about something completely different.
Yeah. He's like, oh,
the locket?
Oh, that other thing I'm a terrible person for doing? Oh, that? Okay.
Yeah, he said that, the locket was taken from him when he was, of course, fucking slinging illicit goods in Diagon Alley. Mm-hmm. A ministry official came up to him. Basically, do you have a license for that? I'm gonna need to take that from you. And
that voice sounds so familiar.
Excuse me. Are you permitted to be selling these goods in Diagon Alley? It's fucking
Umbridge.
Umbridge.
Oh, fucking up. There is no character I have ever hated. There isn't one character in Game of Thrones I hated
as much as you hate
even
Umbridge.
As close to as much as I hated Umbridge.
Cersei looks like Dumbledore compared to Umbridge.
Yeah. Cersei is
Cersei,
whatever.
Lannister, fucking Queen Lannister.
Yeah, the hot bitch. A gem, a fucking gem.
She's literally a savior to us all.
Yeah, she is a saint.
I can't wait for us to get to that series one day. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the final chapter of this episode.
Bye, or not bye, but
bye.
Later in a second. We'll be right back.
All right, chapter 12, Magic is Might.
Magic is might.
Summer is quickly fading into fall. There are more and more weird people
popping up outside Grimmauld Place.
It's Death Eaters, snooping, trying to figure out how to get in.
The chapter opens up with Harry apparating onto the front step.
Yeah, almost, by the way, fucking it up. He comes in the door and he's like, oh, I fucking slipped and, my elbow popped out of my invisibility cloak. I hope no one saw me. So that's what they've been doing is, going to the front step, which is still, out of the line of sight, and apparating immediately. Mm-hmm. He gets in the house and, we're in a house.
Things have taken quite a turn.
Yeah, and granted, there has been several, days, I assume, between the last chapter and this chapter, but things have taken a turn. Kreacher has turned over a new leaf. It is spick and span. It is like Nicole came in.
It's like I came in with a heavy case of OCD and just whipped that puppy into shape. And by puppy, I just mean the mess. I wasn't whipping Kreacher. The house elf into shape.
But, it's ever since he got that locket, his, spirits are lifted. Oh, yeah. And he's, respecting Harry. Happy. He's happy to be here. It's kind of nice. That's a nice change.
Now, the next piece of information, when I learned this, I actually said out loud the exact same thing that was the next line in the book. Harry brought back a Daily Prophet. And in the Daily Prophet, it said that Severus Snape has been made the headmaster of Hogwarts.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Out loud, I go, no! And the next line in the book is everyone going, no!
That's so dark. It's that to me is the biggest beacon of is there even hope?
And then, to make matters worse, 2 other Death Eaters were brought in as staff to Hogwarts. One of them is going to be teaching Muggle studies, and
which
the
I
other
think
one
is
going to be
setup,
teaching
by the way,
Defense of Dark Arts. Yeah.
If anyone seems really interested in this, you fucking off them. And these, by the way, are the 2 brother and sister that had been at the top of the tower at the
when Dumbledore was murdered.
Died. So bad fucking news.
So they're talking about this, and Kreacher's just serving up some hot French onion soup.
Yeah, so he's giving them this delicious soup. Life with Kreacher has gotten much better.
Much better.
French onion.
It
just goes to show that if you treat your slaves well, they'll make you good soup. I'm sorry, I don't mean that, and that's a terrible soundbite.
I'll be honest. I've heard slave soup is the best soup.
Slave soup? Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that is. I admire your tenacity in.
By the way,
and always trying to say catchphrases that will get us trending on Twitter.
Really quick, Hermione, when she found out that Severus Snape was going to be at Hogwarts, Hermione left the room, and she quickly ran upstairs, and she took the portrait of Phineas Nigellus off the wall.
Oh my God, because he's a headmaster.
And put it in her Mary Poppins
She's like,
bag.
oh, he's going to be... That was like such quick thinking. But also, when has Hermione been in Dumbledore's office?
He had all of them in the office at once. Dumbledore was like, come up to the office with everyone.
When?
I don't know. I remember it at some point. They were all in there at one point.
I don't remember that. I remember him coming up with the Weasleys because their dad had been bitten by a...
No. I remember all of them going up there at one point.
Okay, because I was just like, wait, why does she even know that's a thing? But anyways, smart thinking, because as we know, all the headmasters past line the walls of the headmaster's office. And so... But also... I don't know. Are those... Can you trace the frames? Like, what if there's some sort of magic GPS on it? Now it's in her...
I mean, there is so much unknown magic going on that we probably don't know about. That could very well be happening.
I don't know. I thought it was so fucking smart.
What I thought was really cool is that they were all taking turns wearing the invisibility cloak to go and stake out the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, because they're gonna head in there, but they've been, like, going for the past month. They've been going and really getting a lay of the land. They're, like, doing their diligence. They're doing... Yeah. What is that word? You know,
they're sleuthing?
Yeah, sleuthing. No,
footwork? It's groundwork?
Yeah, I guess it's groundwork.
Yeah. Anywho, so what?
Reconnaissance,
yes. Okay, cool. So they're like, Harry's like, all right, tomorrow's gonna be the day. They're
gonna break into the Ministry.
They're gonna break into the Ministry of Magic because they are gonna get the Horcrux back from fucking Umbridge.
Yeah, so basically this whole thing has been to steal back that necklace. They're like assuming she has it.
And then Harriet has another period cramp in his forehead.
Yeah, he dashes off to the bathroom. Also, very funny you called it a period cramp, especially considering that, like a young woman getting her period, you immediately run to the bathroom. Let me ask you this. As a young teenager, as a young woman getting her period, how many times did you feel a little smush, think that your period had kicked in, and run to the bathroom to discover nothing was there?
To just discover that I had just gotten wet because I had a day thought about Charlie Schaefer.
Because the wind blew.
Yeah, I was the fucking horniest,
Yeah, no. I would just, like, get wet thinking about God. That's not true.
That's not true at all.
No, I was never thinking about
God. You
God.
can't get wet off fictitious characters.
No, but real deaths? Oh.
Oh, yes.
But those, multiple times in my life, I've gone, oh no, I think I'm suddenly getting my period and I wasn't expecting it. I'm never expecting it because I'm unprepared and can't be in tune with my body. But... Anyway, the point is, you run up to the bathroom. Anyway.
At this point, I've had my period longer than I haven't had my period. And... Wow, I'm so young. I got my period late. Anywho, I still can't figure out when I'm getting it. Even though I'm on birth control. I just want you to know regularly.
that footwork you tried to do with I got my period late, if you do the math, would actually make you older. So, you should know that. If you've had it longer than you've... Like, if you got your period at 17 and you've had it longer than you haven't.
Yeah. You guys, listen.
I've done it before. I've gone, oh no, I graduated and I said, like, way earlier. And then I'm like, wait, that's the opposite of it.
I am young, okay? I have no wrinkles. I'm very castable. I still have a long career ahead of me.
But Harry's wrinkle, however, causing him great pain.
Big wrinkle. He's got a big pussy wrinkle on his
forehead. I wish I had, like, a scar that would just cover up my thinking wrinkle. Just, like, I want a scar to cover up my wrinkles. Anyway.
I mean, you got a shamrock on your pussy. Now you want to get a tattoo or a scar to cover up your forehead wrinkles?
I want a real scar. I don't want a tattoo of a scar.
I'm sorry, your tattoo is a scar.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on my face. Well, it's not a scar, it's a piece of art.
That shamrock above your pussy?
Look, if all of the pieces of cardboard you've painted upstairs, the 800 pieces of cardboard are art, so is a shamrock above my pussy. You paint a bunch of squares and that's art?
All right.
That's a shamrock. It's
Irish. Do not come for my art. Do not come for my art.
Don't come for my body art.
Stupid.
Just because I can have shame about my art doesn't mean you're allowed to shame it. It's like my mother.
Okay, so he goes off to the bathroom.
Anyway.
And
he's having another
vision. He's Voldemort in Germany.
He's at Oktoberfest. There's tits everywhere.
This is by the way, way too on the nose for Hitler. He's in Germany. They're speaking German, and it's Voldemort looking for Grigorovich.
And there's a little woman, like, he goes into a house and there's an old woman. She's like, no, it's not here.
And then he kills her.
Grigorovich here. And he fucking kills her and maybe her kids.
And you know what that's reminiscent of? The family that was hiding Anne Frank.
Or other Anne Franks. There were probably other Anne Franks.
There were probably more than one Anne Franks.
I think that there's someone who's like,
how come my diary wasn't more popular?
Nobody liked my diary? I wasn't good enough.
Come on. I was way more prolific
Hey,
than
I
she was.
lived! And people are like, boo!
By the way, do you think they pulled out, like, the dumb chapters where she was like, I don't know why Shmuel doesn't like me. Everything in her diary is just deep. I'm sorry, my diary is full of trash.
I don't think they pulled out the dumb chapters. What I think they pulled out was what the truth is that she was a 45-year-old woman. The diary of young Anne Frank. And she's like, chain smoking and an ass. They found them because smoke was coming through the wardrobe that the wall was hidden behind. They're like, what's this? And she's,
you're going to blow our cover. Oh, it's fine. This is why you should have gotten me the Nicorette.
This is... I would rather die than stop smoking my cigarettes. This is bad. We are very sorry. My condolences, and our hearts and genetics feel the deep ancestral trauma of the jokes we make. Anywho, Harry and Ron find Hermione on the floor. Hermione and Ron. Look what I did there.
Yeah.
Pulled a Nicole.
Pulled a Nicole.
On the floor, writhing in pain from his scar. Hermione, of course, scolds him again.
Freaking out, being like, you need to be using acclimancy.
And he's like,
He's like, listen, bitch, I suck at it. I'm not going to do it.
He's just like, look, I want to see what he's up to. That's fine. I'm trying to see into his brain, which is like, okay, that fucked you over. Like, literally the reason Sirius is dead is because you are allowing him to do this in your brain. You need to be more careful. But Harry just does that thing where he's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
And then he's like, we're going to plan our invasion of the Ministry tomorrow. So
just derail the conversation to an invasion of the Ministry. Classic move. Sorry.
So then the next morning they head
out.
They apparate
one by
outside one by one. Well, Hermione goes with Ron.
Well, 2 by 2, I guess.
Hermione goes with Ron. She apparates with Ron to right outside the Ministry, and then goes back.
Right outside Grimmauld
Then
Place.
gets Harry. Her and Harry then go back. So all 3 of them are there now.
So Hermione uses polyjuice potion to become a witch. Mafalda Hopkirk, who is that?
Yeah. She becomes
tie Mafalda Hopkirk up.
Yeah, they tie her up. They get a piece of hair so she can polyjuice into Mafalda.
And Ron turns into Reg Cattermole, who we don't really know.
We don't know.
But this Reg Cattermole guy is like really insistent on getting to work.
Yeah.
And he's not even dressed in his blue uniform, by the way. That they found out that the maintenance ones, because they're going in as maintenance ones, wear blue robes. This guy's not even in uniform, and he's like so desperate to get to work that Hermione, of course, disguised as this
Mafalda.
She's like, here, you need take one of these candies. It'll make you. She insists on giving him a sweet, which of course is a
trick candy.
It's one of the Weasley trick candies that makes him vomit.
She's like, you need to go home immediately.
And he's like, no, I can't. He's like vomiting. I can't go home. And she's like, you gotta go home.
So he goes home. Because they didn't want like a pile up of like different people's bodies. And then they find another guy who's this tall, like menacing, like guy, and that's who Harry transforms into.
Yeah, so they're all in disguise.
And they all get into the Ministry of Magic via toilet.
Yeah, well, there's a new process where instead of going through all the normal entrances, men are separated by women. Also very reminiscent
of something that happened in the mid-1900s.
And the thing that shall not be named. And they have to flush themselves in the toilet. Oh my god, what the fuck is that? I'm so sorry. I have no idea. Oh, post to Instagram.
God, you set alerts for yourself? You're so smart. I should do that.
It was the first time I've ever done it. Anyway,
great idea.
Trying to get better. They go in there. The Ministry of Magic looks completely different from the last time they were there. So there used to be a fountain with all these different creatures, wizards, goblins, whatever. It was still kind of like people were looking up to the wizard, but it was like supposed to be this signifying unity thing in gold. And now the gold...
Very reminiscent of a group in history.
That statue, which was supposed to be like bring us all together, it's gone. And the statue's been replaced by wizards standing on a mountain of humans. Like, it looked like it was just an artistic thing they were standing on, and you get closer, and it's...
Magic is might, it says.
It says magic is might. It's very...
Reminiscent of Hitler standing on a pile of dead Jews.
Yeah, it's very wizard supremacy. It's
so
creepy.
Ron sees Yaxley, who is the Death Eater who's in charge of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement.
And Yaxley, thinking that Ron is Reg Cattermole, mocks him for having a... This is where it gets fucking...
Yeah, this is where it's like, oh, this is why Reg Cattermole
was it so desperate.
Was so trying to get to work so quickly. Because his wife's on fucking trial.
Yeah, for being a mudblood. And he's like, I'm surprised you're not down there begging for her life. And apparently it's just raining in Yaxley's office, which is fucking hilarious. So, like, the normal things that we would have to call maintenance for, like, there's a leak in the thing. It's literally someone has made it rain. And he's like, if I had a wife who was going on trial for being a mudblood, and there was something I needed to do in the head of magical law enforcement's office, I would hop to it pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah.
So you should do that, or your wife's going to be in more trouble than she probably already is, which is fucked.
So at that point, I'm thinking, oh, they gotta do right by this guy. If they've stolen his body,
yeah,
they gotta go help this guy.
Yeah. So where their original plan was the three of them are going to, have some sort of harebrained scheme to all confront Umbridge or figure out a way to get that locket. He now has to go off and find Yaxley's office.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, wait, so what do I do? How do I do this? And Hermione's like giving him directions, and he's like not totally getting it. So eventually Hermione's like, listen.
Hermione pieces out.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta go after him. And so then she leaves Harry alone, and then
someone comes in. There's like a Death Eater or something that comes in and like says something to him and is like, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, okay, Harry seems to be in the body of someone that a lot of people are afraid of.
Yeah.
And probably on the Death
great.
Eater side. Yeah, and so they get to level 1 in that, those magical elevators, and fucking as soon as it opens.
Guess who shows up? Dolores Umbridge.
And that is fucking where we close the book. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yep.
This guy's wife is on the line. Harry is in a Death Eater bodysuit.
Mm-hmm. Guys, we're like blazing through this book right now.
It's so good.
It's
sad
crazy.
that
Every chapter
one.
is jam-packed.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No wonder they had to make this book into 2 movies.
In my opinion, they could have done that too.
They could have done it with all of them. But this one, I am completely blown away how much information is. At this point in the story, we're still learning shit.
How many chapters are in this book?
I think there's like
36?
Something
30,
like that.
36.
Yeah,
we're a third of the way through.
Can't wait.
Which means we have 2/3 of one book left, and then we move on. And if you want to help us pick what we're going to move on to,
head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/twofilthynerds.
We are down to our final 4. You can also vote by, check out our Twitter and at twofilthynerds and our Facebook for links to send us $1 on PayPal along with a note with your vote. And you can vote
with your vote
with a note for $1, or you can join Patreon and just get all of the bonus things of Patreon and also get bonus votes. We will be sending those out. Patrons, we will be, who are live in the chat right now, I think we may have a different process than just a spreadsheet, because there's going to be
so many.
Yeah, well, because there's also
outside people voting with their $1.
Yeah, and you get 5 votes one vote for every $5. So I think the move we're going to do for you guys, we will discuss with the chat when we wrap up. We're wrapping up now. Please, if you haven't already, mash that subscribe button. Please leave a rating and a review, and we will see you next week. Or Sunday. If you join the Patreon, you'll be part of the live chat.
We'll see you Sunday. Just be there Sunday. That's all you have to do. Just be there Sunday. Thank you and good night.
Goodbye.